Missouri Southern and Pitt State are both reporting an increase in COVID cases. I'm Bronte Sorotsky with their response to the increase and how they plan to keep everyone safe.
We learn more about the impact of last year's cybersecurity incident in Joplin.
President Biden visits Pittsburgh to tout the bipartisan infrastructure law, coincidentally, hours after a bridge in that area collapsed where vehicles were crossing. I'm Skyler Henry at the White House with more on his message and the administration's efforts to fix aging roads and bridges.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Dow Quick. Local university students and staff have returned from winter break, but their return raises concerns as COVID-19 cases have climbed. KOAM's Bronte Sorotsky has more on a rise in cases at both universities and how the schools plan to keep students safe on campus.
College students across the 4 states have returned to the classroom from winter break. Also making its return, COVID-19. This week, PSU tested about 90 students with COVID symptoms. 50 came back positive.
So every week, on Wednesday, we report the last 7 days of data. And this past Wednesday, we reported that about a little over 90 students had been tested, symptomatic students, and approximately 50, and 50 of those were positive at our Student Health Center.
At Missouri Southern, they currently have 48 new COVID-19 cases, according to their online COVID-19 dashboard. Due to the number of COVID cases, both schools have brought back masks for most of their buildings.
The biggest reason why we got masks back was essentially to try to provide as many activities and opportunities as possible. So even though it might seem like we're taking a step back with reenacting the masks, we actually have higher class capacities, we're doing more events on campus, and we're doing a lot of other things that are beneficial.
It's giving students a college experience while ensuring their safety.
Before students came back, we implemented a mask mandate, so we know that that's a good way to stop spread on our campus. We've also widely offered vaccinations over the last 2 semesters, so hopefully we know that a large portion of our students are vaccinated.
At PSU, they already have many other COVID safety procedures implemented on campus.
More hybrid options for classes, moving classes to larger rooms, things like that. So we've done all the things that we can do, and what we decided to do was reinstate our mask mandate, knowing that we have a lot of students indoors this time of year.
Both say it's the best way to keep campus open safely while local COVID numbers remain high. In Joplin and Pittsburgh, Bronte Sorotsky, KOAM News.
Currently, PSU students are able to get vaccinated at the Bryant Student Health Center. MSSU's Wilcoxon Health Center is no longer carrying the vaccine due to low campus demand and wide availability in the community. The city of Joplin provides an update on last year's cybersecurity incident as it continues contacting people who might be affected. In July, the city and investigators determined someone got unauthorized access to some files on the city's network. Those included files for the city's employer-sponsored health plan and some resident information through sewer bill payments. It affected some residents of Joplin and Duquesne who paid their sewer bills by check between 2013 and 2021. Files included some names and checking account information. The city recommends those folks be vigilant for fraud or identity theft. The city has set up a dedicated call center. You can find information on that at KOAMnewsnow.com. The iconic Chicken Mary's restaurant in rural Pittsburgh is for sale, but it's not closing. The manager tells us the sale is contingent on the new owner agreeing to continue to operate the restaurant and retain the managers. Chicken Mary's is one of the restaurants that has drawn chicken lovers to Southeast Kansas for generations.
We'll always have a connection, but I'm going to miss being here. The joy of, seeing people happy. There's a lot of things I'm really going to miss. It's going to be super hard. I'm not going to lie and say it's going to be easy to walk away, because it's not. But, there's things in life I want to do while I'm still able to do them too.
The Cobb Realty Company has posted the price of the property at $1.1 million. The Joplin woman is reaching out to you to help a friend with leukemia. The friend is Brianne Therian, who's battling leukemia for the second time in less than a year. Brianne is now in the process of locating a stem cell donor. Kelly Out at Farmers Insurance in Joplin hopes people will register for a swab kit to see if they match.
She is in a hospital away from here, several hours away, for at least 6 months. So while you may not be able to support her financially, this is a quick swab. You could go in, it could be as simple as it's 4 to 6 hours to donate through their process if you are a match.
Farmers Insurance is partnering with the Be the Match program to find someone age 18 to 40 who could help save a life. Caregivers at Ascension Via Christi Hospital in Pittsburgh are receiving some care in return. Board Chair John Clark says he saw fatigue on associates' faces during a January board meeting, and he was inspired by a report on how much the medical staff and associates had donated to the community. So Clark did something for them. He challenged fellow hospital board members to provide meals to caregivers, and they raised more than $6,000 in 24 hours. Enough to feed associates on all shifts at the hospital for 5 days. With more donations, Clark plans to extend that. You can learn how to help at KOIMnewsnow.com. Checking in with Doug Heddy for a first look at the weather.
Well, it actually turned out to be a decent day for us today. A little bit on the chilly side, but it's Friday heading into the weekend, so not too bad. We started at 22, 36 for the high. Normal high is 46, so about 10 degrees below that mark. But we look great outside. There's nothing going on. We have clear skies across the region. In fact, most of the Central Plains has clear skies. Now, it is cold. We're sitting lower 20s, but as southerly winds start to kick in a little bit later on tonight, our temps will actually start to rise a bit. We're still going to fall another 4 or 5 degrees, but we'll be back to 23 by morning. And check that out, 55 tomorrow afternoon. We do have a winter storm right around the corner. We're going to talk about that here in just a bit.
See you then. The late Kansas Senator Bob Dole will be buried with military honors Wednesday in Arlington National Cemetery. About 100 close family and former colleagues are expected to attend. Dole is a former U.S. Senate Majority Leader and Republican presidential nominee who also has been celebrated as a World War II hero. He died December 5th at the age of 98. Dole was a native of Russell in western Kansas, served nearly 36 years in Congress. KOIM News at 9 on Fox 14 takes this time to honor another four-state hero. Terry Walker served in the U.S. Navy from 1965 to 1972. His duties took him to Vietnam, his hometown, Galeta, Kansas. And we are proud to salute Second-Class Petty Officer Terry Walker, tonight's four-state hero. You know, we have more than 3,000 heroes in our database, and you can learn more about any of them. Look them up by name or hometown. We also invite you to submit information on other heroes anytime. It's very simple. You just click on the link on our website. That's KOIMnewsnow.com. Doug is next with a complete look at the forecast, and later President Biden touts the infrastructure plan at the site of a bridge collapse in Pennsylvania.
At U.S. Cellular.
Well, it's Friday, and it turned out to be a pretty decent day today. It was chilly, but it wasn't that bad, and we're going to actually warm up as we head into the weekend, which is always good news. Plus, it's the weekend, which is always good news. Temperatures look fantastic as we go into Saturday, also on Sunday. We do have chances for rain, freezing rain, sleet, and snow moving in starting Tuesday, the system lasting into Thursday. Also, our fourth Arctic blast of the year. You can always get my long-range forecast on my month-long blog. That is KOIMnewsnow.com. All right, let's zoom in. You can see temperatures went into the mid-30s, and then we've dropped over the past several hours. So we're down to 20 in Nevada, 18 in Stockton, 25 in Neosho, 23 Miami, 21 in Pitt. Neodesha is sitting at 22 degrees. So it's a cold night. Most of us will drop back near 20, and then we'll start to rise a bit by dawn due to our winds. They're switching around out of the south. Humidity is at 60%. When the winds switch out of the south, it helps us warm up. Nothing going on. We have clear skies. We have clear skies across the entire Central Plains. We do have a nor'easter, which is starting to wrap up across the eastern seaboard. Really from Providence to Boston, we'll get 2 to 3 feet of snow during the daytime hours tomorrow. Let's go west. Not a whole bunch going on. This is our weather over the next 3 days until that next storm system starts to roll in. All right, temps tonight We're going to rise a little bit. We'll start rising here mainly after about 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. Look at our highs tomorrow. We shoot all the way into the 50s, near 60 in our western counties. 50 by noon, high temp of 55. It's going to be a little breezy. We're going to have those south winds at 5 to 15. Let's go into tomorrow night. We back down into lower 30s for overnight lows. And then as we go into Sunday, we do it again. We get temperatures right back up into the mid 50s for highs. So just about a perfect weekend if you're heading north to Kansas City. Arrowhead Stadium Sunday afternoon kickoff about 48 degrees, so really not that bad. All right, let's check out next week. Monday we go into the 60s, so it gets even warmer, and then the bottom just drops out. We start to get rain by late Tuesday. An Arctic front sinks in, stalls just to our south. So in the pink here, this is now early Wednesday morning, is all freezing rain. And then as the colder air works in, then we'll go to sleet. As the colder air continues to work in, then we're going to go to snow. So this is midnight, Wednesday night. Snow continues on Thursday and rolls out late Thursday. Now, this is 5 days away. A lot's going to change, so we can't really put amounts on it yet. But as of right now, if this system tracks similar to what it looks like, we're going to get some decent winter weather. So something we want to watch for, especially early next week. All right, 55 tomorrow, 54 on Sunday, 63 on Monday, 54 with rain Tuesday, wintry mix Wednesday, snow Thursday, down to 4 degrees Thursday night. So I mean, this is going to be some really cold air moving in.
Yeah, but it's going to be nice at Arrowhead on Sunday.
It will be.
That's important. Thanks, Doug. Coming up, building bridges.
President Biden visits Pittsburgh to tout the bipartisan infrastructure law, coincidentally, hours after a bridge in that area collapsed where vehicles were crossing. I'm Skyler Henry at the White House with more on his message and the administration's efforts to fix aging roads and bridges.
Niners Rams.
President Biden traveled to Carnegie Mellon University in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania to tout his accomplishments on the economy and the physical infrastructure law and to push his social spending policies. The event was held just miles away from this, what's today a pile of rubble after a well-traveled bridge collapsed this morning. Local officials say no one died, though 10 people were injured. 3 were taken to the hospital. Skyler Henry has more from the White House.
On the other side of the concrete there.
President Biden toured the scene of a bridge collapse in Pittsburgh. It happened hours ahead of his planned speech to sell the bipartisan physical infrastructure law.
Across the country, there are 45,000 bridges in poor condition. It's just simply unacceptable. The next time, we don't need headlines saying that someone was killed when the next bridge collapsed.
A Port Authority bus and multiple other vehicles were on the bridge at the time. County officials say there were only minor injuries after a very physical rescue effort.
Technicians rappelled down using ropes to go down over the side. Also did like a daisy chain with hands, just grabbing people and pulling them up.
The White House launched a $27 billion program to fix the nation's aging bridges under the new infrastructure law, including those locally funded, such as the one in Pittsburgh.
We're the city of bridges. These funds are critical to make sure that we're able to provide a safe transportation infrastructure.
While in Pittsburgh, the president also touted economic progress and his Build Back Better social spending policies.
It's time we began to build this country from the middle up and the bottom out.
The Commerce Department says this year the U.S. economy grew at its fastest rate in nearly 4 decades, but that growth has been overshadowed by the ongoing pandemic, rising inflation, and supply chain issues. Skyler Henry, CBS News, the White House.
In a tweet, the National Transportation Safety Board said it has sent a GO team to help with the investigation into the cause of that bridge collapse in Pennsylvania. Its deck condition and superstructure were recently rated in poor condition, according to the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation's website. Still ahead, Arkansas sees an increase in road work zone crashes, how a recent push is working to get drivers off their phones. Joplin announces a couple of road closures. Starting today, a portion of South Hawthorne Drive is closed for an estimated 5 days. Crews will be working on a sanitary sewer replacement project near 35th Street. On Monday, Murphy Boulevard from Main to Brommer Drive will be closed from 8 a.m. to noon. Crews will be making a repair near Joplin Creek. They hope to have that back open by that afternoon. The Arkansas Highway Commission and Department of Transportation are urging the public to stop distracted driving and increase work zone safety. Noah Tucker reports on the push to get drivers off their phones.
I don't like it. I see a lot of people that are distracted. I see a lot of people on their cell phones, even though it's against Arkansas law.
Jerry Honecker is all too familiar with distracted driving.
A wreck about a half mile from our house. Guy was trapped in the truck. Apparently, don't know that this guy was texting driving, but he was halfway over in the 2 lanes of the highway.
And it's exactly what the Arkansas Department of Transportation says is the #1 reason for an increase in roadwork zone crashes.
Each year, the number of crashes and accidents in construction zones is going up, and the number of fatalities, one fatality is too many.
Just over a week ago, a 30-year-old RDOT worker died after being struck along I-30.
The timing of the 2 recent fatalities just really, brings that point home even more, that we've got to get something done.
A new unified effort with the public to raise awareness of cautious driving in road work zones.
Let people know clearly what are the rules of the law regarding construction work zones, and how you're not supposed to be on your phone, how you definitely have to slow down, you have to be more alert. This is not just for the worker out there, but for your own safety.
Hopeful to enforce those laws and improve on saddening statistics.
I'm all for it. Yes, sir. They definitely need to clamp down on that.
RDOT is conducting a thorough review of the incidents to make sure crews are following all the proper safety protocols in work zones. With help from the Arkansas State Police, the enforcement program will begin on February 2nd. A little bit later, we look at a crisis in childcare, but first, a motor in a watch. Look at this, it's a thing. We'll take a look.
Access Family Care.
Well, it's an interesting place for a 16-cylinder engine, but here we are. Bugatti has put one in its $1.5 million watch. The company teamed up with jeweler Jacob & Company for the design. The crystal sapphire watch is mostly transparent, exposing the little tiny motor that has nearly 600 moving parts connected to a 4-point suspension. It's the perfect accessory to wear when you drive your multi-million-dollar car. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. Later, it can be tough finding childcare these days, but we'll look at a new option in southwest Missouri. Plus,
Russia and the West both building up forces in the region as the diplomatic process continues to play out. I'm Steve Harrigan in Kiev, Ukraine. That story ahead.
to celebrate Kansas Day and the state's 161st birthday, Treasurer Lynn Rogers is giving away some $161 savings plans for kids. 34 winners will be randomly drawn to win a LearnQuest 529 education savings plan. The tax-advantaged accounts help pay for education expenses. Kansas Day is tomorrow. Nominations are accepted through close of business on Monday. Just head to KOAMnewsnow.com for a link to submit a nomination. Finding childcare is near impossible with the Omicron surge across the area. Elizabeth Van Meter has details about a new program that's aimed at filling that need while helping those having trouble find a job.
Affordable, it's dependable, people won't cancel you.
Affordable and dependable childcare. That's exactly what Vanessa hopes to provide when her at-home childcare facility opens up in Berry County.
And I know that they're safe with me. So I love the idea of having a daycare, having my own business of a daycare, having kids run around.
She's never owned anything like this before, but she has 3 kids of her own. She and her husband love children, and they aren't on their own. The pair were the first to go through the Ozark Area Community Action Corporation program, helping people open their own at-home centers. This through their Learning Ladders program.
Us with everything and help us get everything set up in the order that we need to make a good, successful business.
That includes getting licensing set up and technology needed, toys, even help running costs like utilities. All for all 10 counties that have OCAC, and quickly.
I really believe that people could probably do it in a month to 6 weeks if they had the time and they were really committed to getting it done.
And while most businesses worry about getting clients, those running this program are confident that filling spots won't be an issue.
It's been an obstacle that's been brought up to us by people in the community, by clients that we serve, is just the need for safe and affordable childcare. And so we thought this was kind of a way to meet two different needs.
Providing safe and qualified childcare for families and an income for those hoping to help. Reporting for KY3, I'm Elizabeth Van Metry.
To qualify for the program, you must be able to pass a background check and be income eligible for OCAC services. A federal judge has resentenced Tiger King Joe Exotic to 21 years in prison. The former zookeeper in Oklahoma, whose real name is Joseph Maldano Passage, was convicted in a murder-for-hire case involving his chief rival, Carol Baskin. He was sentenced 2 years ago to 22 years in prison, but a federal appeals court ruled last year that the proper sentencing guidelines were not used. He was resentenced today in Oklahoma City. Prosecutors say Maldano Passage tried to hire two different people, including an undercover FBI agent, to kill Baskin, who'd criticized his treatment of animals. Baskin attended today's sentencing and said Maldano Passage, quote, continues to harbor intense feelings of ill will toward me. A rare joint appearance from the nation's top military leaders, with General Miley and the Defense Secretary Austin both saying the U.S. remains committed to our NATO allies, as Russia's foreign minister insists if it was up to Russia, there will be no war. But President Biden is warning that Russia could invade Ukraine next month. Fox News correspondent Steve Harrigan reports.
It is a day of diplomacy. Russia says it's considering an official response to the U.S. after its key demand, a halt to NATO expansion, was rejected. But Moscow also says America's willingness to discuss issues like missile defense and military drills is a sign the Russian strategy is working. Diplomats from 4 countries will meet in Berlin in 2 weeks to discuss an end to the crisis.
We certainly have no intent whatsoever that I'm aware of putting offensive forces to attack Russia, and I don't think that's NATO's intent at all.
Meanwhile, the military buildup continues on both sides. In addition to sending more assets to Belarus just to the north, the Russian military is also holding drills in the Black Sea, with NATO keeping a close watch on both areas.
NATO is already in the region. We already have assets both on the ground in the Black Sea region and the Baltic region.
Beyond the military preparations, the U.S. is also planning a strong economic response, targeting Moscow's wallet with crippling sanctions aimed at Russian banks, companies, and imports if Ukraine is attacked. Russia says that would lead to a complete severing of diplomatic ties, and the West is misunderstanding the goal of the Russian military.
Our troops are not a threat. They are a warning to Ukraine not to try any reckless military adventures.
And the White House is holding talks to make sure potential sanctions don't interrupt the global financial system. In Kiev, Ukraine, Steve Harrigan, Fox News.
A bit later, Kevin James gives us a preview of a new sports comedy based on the newly retired New Orleans Saints head coach.
On the next 2.5 minutes.
Well, definitely turned out to be a chilly day for us today, but still overall not a bad day. We had the sunshine across the region. Big warm up as we head into the weekend, which is going to be nice, as temperatures about 20 degrees warmer tomorrow compared to what we did see today. Now, we are still tracking a storm system for next week. This is late Tuesday, Wednesday into Thursday, so still several days away. But rain, freezing rain, sleet, and snow look likely, so we're going to have to watch it as we go through the next few days. Also, Arctic blast, Arctic air rolls back in. You know, it's getting a long-range forecast on my month-long blog, KOAMnewsnow.com. Temps warmed into the mid-30s. And now we're sliding the other direction. Anywhere from 21, Nevada 24, and Neosho 24, and Welch. We have Parsons sitting at 20. I think most of us will drop off another 2 or 3 degrees, but as southerly winds start to pick up later on tonight, our temperatures will actually start to rise a bit toward dawn, which is kind of nice to see. 23 right now, east, southeasterly winds are light. Humidity is at about 60%. All right, clear skies. Nothing is going on here outside. In fact, the entire Central Plains look pretty good. We do have a nor'easter, which is wrapping up. This is going to produce a lot of snow, really from Providence to Boston tomorrow. 2 to 3 feet of snow is going to fall. Everybody else, we look good. You can look out west. Nothing really going on. That's our weather as we go through the next couple days. All right, tonight, watch the temperature slowly rise toward dawn. Mostly sunny skies for us tomorrow. We'll stop in the afternoon. You can see we're all into the mid to upper 50s. Here's your day planner for you. If you are getting up early, still chilly or cold. 50 by noon, high temp at 55, a little breezy. South winds are going to start to pick up, but of course when it gets windy out of the south, that helps our temperatures warm up. Winds switch back out of the north by the time we head into tomorrow night, so we drop into the upper 20s to near 30. But Sunday overall still looks pretty good. We're going to go into low to mid 50s once again for afternoon highs. In fact, by Monday, we're going to top out into the lower 60s during the afternoon. So Monday looks great. Tuesday, late Tuesday, rain will start to increase. We get an Arctic front that drops in and just kind of hangs out just south of us. So we're going to be, like always, we're going to be on that rain ice line for a good chunk of this storm. As that colder air works in a little deeper, our temperatures will drop. You can see Kansas City at 18, Joplin at 31, 55 in Fort Smith. So this is a lot of cold air, but that freezing rain sleet line will start to advance off toward the south. So this is Wednesday afternoon, freezing rain sleet. Wednesday night, we go to snow. Thursday, periods of snow. Again, this is 5 days away, but all the data has been very consistent up to this point, so it's looking more likely that this will happen. We're just going to have to fine-tune it over the next several days, and especially because we're right on that rain ice line. But at least the next few days look great. 50s over the weekend, 60s on Monday.
Yeah, that looks nice. We'll enjoy this weekend for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks, Dad. Coming up in sports, Pitt State baseball enters the spring with high expectations. Plus, the Colgan girls aim to stay undefeated in a CNC rivalry game against Girard. Jacob Leonard has that and more next.
Truckers weigh in on.
The MIAA has released its preseason baseball and softball polls today. On the baseball side, Missouri Southern was picked to finish 5th in the league, while Pittsburgh State is number 2. Now, the Gorillas are coming off a great season. They were 30-16 overall last year, including 21-12 in the MIAA. They went on to finish 2nd in the postseason conference tournament. Now, Pitt State is behind only last year's national runner-up Central Missouri, so expectations pretty high heading into the spring.
It's a good honor, but it doesn't mean anything. You know, anything you get when the season starts, you have to earn, and that's what we're going to try to do, is earn everything the right way, play the right way, and see what happens in the long run.
We're all excited. I think, you know, we're here to do one job, and that's to win a conference title here and maybe host a regional and try to do some things that haven't been done here for a while. We think we have the talent, and I think everyone's motivated from last year. You know, we kind of struggled towards the end of the season, you know, got into the conference tournament, got into the conference championship, but didn't finish how we wanted to, didn't make a regional. So, you know, we are ready to go this year, ready to prove who we are and show everyone who we are.
Offensively, you know, we have a lot of those guys back, and we've added some really nice pieces. So if you ask me right now, I think we're going to do a good job scoring runs, but we have pitchers that are going to throw strikes and give us a chance every time they run out there.
As for the softball poll, Missouri Southern, highest-ranked local team in the preseason at number 4. They were 30-15-1 last season. Pittsburgh State's number 10 in the poll, entering their first season under head coach Jenny Fuller. Well, the Frontenac boys have been one of the best teams in the area to begin the basketball season. The Raiders are 9-2 overall and have climbed the 3A state rankings up to number 4 this week. A big one at home for Frontenac tonight, facing the Columbus Titans. The Titans 7-3, won the Southeast Lancer Classic last week. Cole Minor straight to the rim here. Titans have the first points of the night. But Mario Mangini, one of his 2 threes in the first quarter. Raiders up 6. The second quarter now, good defense, but Colin McCartney still hits it. 16 for McCartney tonight. Frontenac by 12 at half, but the second half, all Columbus. Colt Ungehauer, corner 3. He scores 21. Titans outscore Frontenac 48-24 in the second half. Pay attention to Columbus, all right? Titans knock off the Raiders 78-66. In the girls' game, Raiders trying to get rolling after losing 3 straight close games. The Hattie Pyle straight to work. Rebound and the putback. Raiders open on a 6-0 run. Pyle finishes with 7. Other end, Titans get on the board. Grace Major 3, but Frontenac up 6 after 1. In the second, they extend that lead. Sydney Frankenberry connects from deep. Raiders get the lead to 8 at half. The game tightened up in the third, but in the fourth, Frankenberry finishes on the drive. Team high 12 for Sydney Frankenberry, then Riley Green, 3 from the far side. She adds 7. Frontenac finishes it off 45-31.
It was much needed. Like I said, we were still a little tight. We were still a little nervous, and I think that's just from the games in the past. And so just to climb that hill, to battle through it, and to finish it at the end, I think was important. We scratched, we clawed, and really battled for that win. In a game we didn't shoot the ball very well.
Staying in the CNC, the Colgan girls are still undefeated coming into the night. The Panthers are 10-0 to start the season and are currently ranked number 3 in the state in Class 2A. Now, Colgan tries to stay perfect in a big CNC rivalry game tonight with Girard. In the first, Lauren Yagmore to Lily Brown for 2. Then Yagmore doing it herself. She goes on to score 10 points tonight. Now, on the assist again here, she finds Lauren Torrance this time. Torrance adds 12. Colgan, listen to this, up 22-0 after the first quarter. Later, Brown, nice move to get to the bucket. She gets 13 in the second half, finishes with a team high 20. Colgan rolls by Girard 61-27.
We played our best basketball when we have come out on fire, and we knew it would be huge tonight. We're pretty good once we, get the momentum going. We're pretty hard to stop, so I was really pleased. But every game they take it like it's, the state championship. It's business for them. If we peaked, I'd be worried, but we haven't yet.
To the boys, Girard looking to push their winning streak to 5 games and knock off the Panthers. A good start for the Trojans. Bram Bourne fakes and gets the bucket for 2. And here he is again. Little off target, but Luke Nigman there for the finish. Now, Colgan trying to play a little catch-up. Stuart O'Brien on the reverse. Panthers, though, trailing by 9. Then Brecken Troike grabs the loose ball, gets it to fall. Girard wins on the road tonight, 49-38. The Kansas City Chiefs host the Cincinnati Bengals on Sunday in the AFC Championship game. Chiefs trying to make the Super Bowl for the 3rd consecutive season. I like to do every Friday on game week. Right now, it's time to hear from the voice of the Chiefs, Mitch Holthus, in this week's Minute with Mitch.
It is so easy to take things for granted. This week, the Kansas City Chiefs will host their 4th consecutive AFC Championship game, an all-time pro football record. Now, prior to 2018, the Chiefs had played in 1 AFC Championship in 48 seasons, and that was on the road, and didn't host an AFL or AFC championship game ever. This season has been crazy, ups and downs, twists and turns, a 3-4 start, a 6% chance to win the AFC West on Halloween, a team seemingly headed nowhere. But this Chiefs team has found a way to win 11 of its last 12 games, and they're back here again. And that means a chance to win the Lamar Hunt Trophy for a 3rd straight year. And I'm trying not to take it for granted on this Minute with Mitch. The Minute with Mitch is brought to you by Como Jewelry. Every day's game day, Como Jewelry, Pittsburgh, Joplin.
That Chiefs-Bengals game is at 2 on Sunday on our sister station KOAM Channel 7. The Chiefs are 7.5-point favorites. And that's it for sports. We're back after this.
Kevin James plays a Super Bowl winning coach in a new Netflix film about family and redemption. Fox's Ashley Dvorkin has the story.
Kevin James stars as real-life, newly retired New Orleans Saints head coach Sean Payton in the Netflix family comedy Home Team. It centers on the Super Bowl winning leader coaching his son's Pop Warner football team during his year-long suspension from the NFL League due to the Bountygate scandal.
It's not even about the suspension. It's about what happens after. He took this team of kind of misfits, this
couldn't get it together. And I don't think they won a game until he came on board, and then he took them all the way to the championship, and they lost that championship, which was another great lesson for these kids.
While James was aware of the suspension, he was surprised to learn about how Peyton turned his experience into a positive opportunity.
He ended up going home and just investing it in his relationship with his son and his family, which was pretty cool to me. I mean, and it kind of just shows what a brilliant head coach does is, when they're down, they don't just wallow in it. They look for opportunities to lift themselves up higher than they were before. And it's exactly what he did. It turned out to be the best coaching season of his career, he said.
The film also features Twilight star Taylor Lautner returning to the screen after 5 years, playing Pop Warner coach Troy Lambert.
He's based off a real character, Coach Brennan. He's such a vital role to these kids' lives. He's really like their father figure, their older brother that really genuinely cares about these kids.
Home Team is available to stream now. In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
We'll be right back with proof of a big-hearted Chiefs kingdom. Chiefs Kingdom certainly has a big heart. You probably knew that, but this next story is proof. Fans are taking the opportunity of Sunday's AFC Championship games to reach out to other fans to offer the chance of a lifetime. Nathan Vickers shows us how.
To see a championship game at Arrowhead would be a dream for most fans.
I got me and my family and friends represented.
But Jason Madu is staying with his sports collection in Wichita this weekend, keeping his loved ones close.
Watching at home with friends and family, that's also priceless.
His mother, Amber Patel, passed away 2 weeks ago from a lung condition. He wanted to find a way to honor the woman who was always there for him.
Take a negative, make it a positive, celebrate life, and that's what my mom was about.
In her memory, he sent out a call to Chiefs fans on social media.
I just reached out, I said, hey, Chiefs Kingdom, help me find a single mother that would like to go to the Chiefs-Bengals game.
He found a woman in Chicago who has asked to stay anonymous. She's coming to KC this weekend, all expenses paid.
I got them in a nice hotel, got their airfare, got their game tickets.
When Jason tweeted about what he was doing, it created a ripple effect. Soon, others wanted to join in.
He just lost his mom, and he's thinking about giving to other single moms. I mean, that's just such a selfless act.
Sharu Zabadian is a Chiefs fan in Florida who used the call as inspiration. He bought tickets for 2 moms and their kids.
If you're lucky enough to be in a position to do so, it's just more rewarding than doing stuff for yourself.
Madu says this won't be the last time.
Hopefully next year and beyond.
He's content to watch from home, knowing another mom and her child are making memories.
Nice story. Before we go tonight, we want to give our thanks and best wishes to a friend. Dylan, let's take that shot of the control room. There you go. And hello, Jenny Schaefer. Wave to us. Yeah. Jenny is one of our technical directors. She is in the control room right now, and in addition to apparently doing calisthenics, she is helping to oversee things as she hands over the reins. This is Jenny's very last 9 p.m. newscast with us. I would fully explain to you all the things that this amazing control room does if I understood it. But in the many years I've been in this business, I still don't. I just know that we have a bunch of professionals in the control room. Jenny's always been one of them. She's been great. Thank you, Jenny. And thank you for joining us. That is our time tonight. We're going to leave you with video of goats because they're goats and Jenny requested goats. Let's make it a great tomorrow.